Tonight we know what the feds have to say about it. The NTSB is in favor of adding safety belts to school buses. Already local districts are responding to that recommendation. Here's 13 News Now reporter Megan Shin.
School buses with lap and shoulder seat belts. That's what the National Traffic Safety Board wants on large new buses. This federal recommendation comes a week after a fatal school bus crash in New Jersey. David Pace is Director of Transportation Services for Virginia Beach City Public Schools.
There's no exposed metal on the inside of this bus.
He says a seatbelt debate is nothing new to him.
I've been dealing with it for 35 years that I've been in the business.
During the 2018 General Assembly session, 2 bills would have required 3-point belt systems. Both were left in the House Education Committee.
They're not required in Virginia.
On the phone, the director of the State Education Department says, last year, Henrico County added seatbelts to its buses with a county ordinance saying
all vehicles purchased by county-owned, county taxpayer dollars would have seatbelts, including school buses.
In Virginia Beach, Pace says seatbelts could cost the city or state a lot more money. So if you added seatbelts, it would add another
$9,000 a bus.
He insists buses are safe now without seatbelts like cars have.
You know, we think that, they're good in cars. Well, a car is a lot different than a large school bus.
He says no seatbelts allow kids to get away from an emergency quickly. With the recommendations, any state changes will remain to be seen.
We would, of course, comply with any regulation that would require seatbelts on school buses.
Well, we reached out to 7 Hampton Road school divisions. Norfolk, Portsmouth, and Chesapeake Public School spokespeople told us that if the state changes its policies, then they will add the seatbelts. Reporting in Virginia Beach, I'm Megan Shin, 13 News Now.
Fatal school bus crashes are rare. That's according to data from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They recorded 340,000 deadly crashes from 2004 to 2013. Of those, just 0.4% involved a bus.